Happy Christmas Eve, everybody! Welcome into the channel. Hope you all are having a good time hanging out with family or friends or at your holiday party, wherever you are. Having something from a charcuterie board or maybe a nice holiday ham while you're sitting around with your family. Maybe a little bit of eggnog. Nothing wrong here. Maybe a little Bailey's in it. But if you're watching this channel, you are a New York Giants fan, and you probably haven't drunk enough of that eggnog. Because you need to be highly intoxicated to watch this team play. Because they are bad, as we've all seen over the last how many ever years it's been. Bad rosters, bad team, bad player management from the staffs, bad drafting from general managers. It's all been a lot of a big mess, big dumpster fire. And the New York Giants just didn't start any ordinary dumpster fire. Imagine, if you will, a seafood restaurant whose refrigeration just went out and everything's spoiled and they had to throw it out. Imagine it baking in the summer heat for a couple of days, getting all nice and stinky, and then someone decides to throw a match and light the whole thing on fire. Well, that horrible smell singeing your nose hairs is exactly what the New York Giants smell like. Just all kinds of rotten disgustingness. And I know there's been a lot of guys that have come through here that have gotten the blame for it, all the way from Tom Coughlin all the way up now to Dave Gettleman, who will be fired once this season is over. But there's one guy I'm going to lay this whole mess at his feet, and that's going to be John Mara. John Mara is the owner of the New York Giants. He's made a lot of poor football decisions ever since he took over this team. From personnel to drafting to keeping guys around too long and not realizing when the expiration date had gone off and the little light bulb in his head goes off and says, this isn't working out. I need to change. Changes need to be made in football, and the changes that Mara made were the wrong ones. This goes back to 2015, is where I think he made his biggest mistake, and that was the big mistake of quite a few, because at that point we're a couple years away from a Super Bowl, and you're starting to see a lot of the problems creep in after that second Super Bowl in 2011 that we still have now. Overall lack of talent, linebacking problems, depth problems, offensive line problems. They've all been a problem since the end of that second Super Bowl. And Tom Coughlin paid for it with his job in 2015. Should Coughlin have been out the door? Absolutely not. He should have been promoted, in my opinion, and that was the big mistake that Mara made, was getting rid of Tom Coughlin and not going to Coughlin first and telling him, hey, listen, we want to promote you. We want to move in a different direction for coaching, which is fine. That happens all the time. But Coughlin's a good football man. This is where I think Mara made a mistake with Coughlin. He should have offered him the job and put him in the front office somewhere, whether he's going to do player development, head of scouting, VP of football operations. He should have been in one of those positions. And Jerry Reese should have been the guy at that moment of time that was canned. His track record when it came to drafting talent is awful. You guys can go back and look at it, and he had some real stinkers in the first round. I understand he drafted guys like Odell Beckham Jr., but he also drafted guys like Eric Flowers and Will Beatty to be your franchise left tackle. How'd that work out? Not so well. So this is where I think John should have just realized at that point that, hey, listen, and this is how John is. I know how he is. He wants to be loyal to his guys. He wants his guys around. But when your guys aren't working, you have to get rid of them. You can't hold on to them. This is how bad football teams operate. They just hang on to guys. They refuse to change. And that was the first mistake. He got rid of the wrong guy, and he kept Jerry Reese at the party way too long. Not only did he do that, he let him hire another coach, and Ben McAdoo. And we had to deal with that disaster for 2 years. When he was finally fired, that whole Geno Smith nonsense, John Mara should have put a stop to it. There was no way he should have ever let that embarrassment ever happen. Geno Smith ends Eli Manning's streak. Are you kidding me? And the year where they just drafted Kyle Lauletta, if they wanted someone else to start, it should have been Lauletta, because it would have been a better reason for, hey, we just drafted this guy, we want to see what we got. Not, I believe the excuse was, he's been a good soldier, he's done everything we've asked him to. I don't give a crap. Geno Smith was terrible, and he never deserved to start. And John Mara should have put the kibosh on it the second it happened. Then after that, he finally does the right thing. He finally gets rid of everybody. He gets rid of McAdoo. He finally gets rid of Reese. But then he brings in a guy like Dave Gettleman, and he brings in Joe Judge. Gettleman, from what I read in recent reports, told Mara, hey, I can win in 2018 with Eli Manning. That's where John Mara made his mistake, his most recent mistake, was trusting that he could win again with his guy in Eli Manning. He should have realized this team was a mess We had no depth. We had no talent at that point. They needed to tear it down. They needed to start over. And trying to draft Saquon Barkley in that position to try and win another one for Eli Manning was the wrong decision. John should have saw it, and this is like I said, it's his franchise. He has the final say, and he should have said, you know what, Dave, I don't agree with it. Whether he should have hired someone else then or not, I don't know. But he's gone in the wrong direction every time. And look where we are again with Gettleman running the show. Still no offensive line. Still no linebackers. Lack of depth, again, at every position, especially the offensive line. And that's why Gettleman was supposed to be in here to fix the offensive line. And it's still horrible. And not only did he not fix anything, our salary cap situation is one of the worst in the league. So we're going to be over the cap again next year. I know the cap went up, but there's overthecap.com. Their prediction is once we sign a full roster, we're going to be over the cap again. We're going to have to get rid of guys. And this is Gettleman's fault. Why I think he needs to completely move on. I don't want to see Abrams. He was supposed to be the cap guy, and he got us into this mess. So now you want to take a look at exactly how bad the Giants have been in the last 5 years under John Mara, and they've been horrible. When I say this is all at his feet, you want to blame it at the owner. You don't have a 0.282 winning percent. 0.282 winning percentage. As an owner, if it's other people's fault besides yours, that is on you when that winning percentage is that bad because you ran your team improperly. You hired the wrong people. You put the wrong people in place. If the New York Football Giants were a Major League Baseball team, they would have lost 117 games on average over the last 5 years. 117 games. Not even the Baltimore Orioles are that bad. That is how bad the Giants have been at putting a roster together and trying to be competitive. They can't do it because the man at the top keeps making poor football and personnel decisions. So how does John make this right? I'll tell you what, it's not by giving everybody a medium soda. That's another joke that I don't even want to get into. I can't even believe they did that. It was ridiculous. If John Mara wants to set this right, he's got to get rid of Gettleman, which is happening. It sounds like by all counts he is gone. He's not going to be here next year. Good riddance. Horrible GM. Never did what he was going to say. And now there's reports saying that Joe Judge is going to keep his job. It feels again like he's making the same mistake. That's his guy. He thinks he's going to be the next Bill Parcells. I don't care. Bill Parcells also said you are what your record is. And our record is awful. Can I repeat the 0.282 winning percentage again? That's how bad they've been. This team is not getting it done. John Mara has to fire everybody. When he does it, he needs to get in front of a camera, multiple cameras in front of a podium, and take ownership of this mess. He needs to apologize to the Giant fans and needs to say, listen, I've made a lot of bad decisions. This whole mess is on me. I've made a lot of mistakes, personnel-wise, front office, coaches, managers, everything. I'm going to wipe this whole thing out, and we're going to start over again, and we're going to go in a different direction, and we're going to start looking for people that actually know how to run a football team. That's what I want to hear John Mara say, and I've got a feeling, a really bad one, that we're not going to hear it, because there are reports out there that are starting to sound like Kevin Abrams is going to take over as a general manager of the football Giants. Speaking of disasters, he's the one who was supposed to be the cap guy, and look where our salary cap is. It is terrible. We are in a bad spot. So I'm sorry to say that if that's the way that things are going to work out, and Abrams is going to be the guy, I would hold on for more misery, guys, because it's John Mara just doing the same old. That's just not going to work, and we're just going to keep being bad. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out the video. I hope you all have a good holiday. If you like this video, hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll have some more videos coming shortly. And I'll be live on Sunday for Giants and Eagles. So we hope to see you guys there. Hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. Be happy, be merry, be safe. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you next time.